Sister City TV 97.3 City FM. Our WhatsApp number 054-998-6996. If you have comments you'd like to pass on the previous message you received, feel free to do that. Or if you have something you want us to discuss on the show, you can send it via that WhatsApp number. Also, you can send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com. Alternatively, you can like our Facebook page. Search for Sister Live on Facebook. We're going to pop up, like the page, join the exciting interactions that happen. We'll go right into our next message, and here it is.
Good evening, sisters. I just found out that my father's brother is my biological father. I overheard my mom arguing with him on the phone, and that was when she blurted it out. From the way she sounded, I doubt my dad knows I'm not his child. I'm still in shock and haven't been myself for days now. I want to confront my mother about what I heard. My uncle has been good to me all my life, but I don't really care about that now. I just want to understand why my mother would sleep with her brother-in-law. Sisters, do you think I should confront them, or should I just tell my dad about what I heard?
Wow. Okay, this is different. So Child has discovered that his uncle is actually his father and wants to confront his mother. Yeah, or just go ahead and tell his father. Okay. Olivia, talk to me. What are your thoughts on this one?
Wow. This one is a tough one. It really is, because I feel like the more you find out, you end up opening a can of worms, you see, because it can't get any better. I can understand that you really want to know the truth, and it's your right. You have to. I don't think telling your dad, though, I think is the best alternative now. I just think that ask your mom. Maybe you didn't hear right. Maybe you heard right. I don't know. But by all means, please have a conversation with your mom. Tell her that I think how you go about it matters a lot. Okay, if you go and then you're like shouting and you're all over the place and you're angry, she'll be defensive. But I think that how you address your mom is very important. Address her respectfully and say, you think you overheard uncle saying this, and that this is exactly what he heard, and that you really want to know whether it's true. And if really indeed your uncle is your father, then hear what she says. And I don't think your mom is just easily going to give in. There's going to be a lot of denying. She's going to say, I don't think you heard right. And, she's going to deny. I mean, I don't see her admitting to that, because if she admits, Charlie, this whole thing is just going to mess up. Already, it's like everything is going okay. Family, nobody knows that this secret is out there. And I hope your mom is still not even having an affair with your dad's brother, because if she still is, then you know that, okay, this is bad. But maybe it was a mistake, something that happened, and clearly you ended up being a product of what happened. But if I were you, I think that I'll just leave it and let it be. This is just me. But if you're the kind of person who is restless and you really want to get to the bottom of it, how you handle it is very important. Assuming that your mom says no, there are a million and one ways to undergo a DNA test, or to be able to get some DNA samples from your uncle and, go behind, and then find out for yourself. That is, if your mom is lying and you really feel that maybe you look like your uncle, there's no similarities between you and your dad, and it's really pressing you. There's some people who just want to know who their fathers are, and I mean, that cannot be taken away from you. But like I said, if it were me, I'll just let it go. But if you can't let it go and you have sleepless nights and you want to find out the truth, just know that a lot is at stake. And just know that I feel bad for your father if really indeed this is true. Just know that it's going to take a terrible and very different turn from here. And I don't know if I should tell you to expect the worst, because clearly this news is not easy to hear or even to accept. So, and like I always say, pray on it and make a step.
Absolutely. Tina, what would you have done in this instance if you were the younger guy?
Okay, so I'm sitting here thinking how other people don't see that it's really important to know who your real father is. Sometimes maybe parents, when they do their odd stuff, and then it ends up in an issue, which is the child, they think they can hide this and it's okay. And forming a bond with your biological father is really important, because it helps you to even understand yourself. The traits of your father, sometimes you carry on. You understand why you do certain things the way you even do them, because you carry some of those traits on. Maybe people don't really understand. They may just say, oh, after 20-something odd years, why should we now come and break the news to this child that you are not the real father, or you are the real father? And so I can understand his confusion, hearing all this and thinking, so all along, I've been close to this uncle of mine. He's been really good to me. I probably I have some mannerisms of his that I don't even understand. Even if you go for a DNA now, chances are that you might check out for your father. I mean, your non-biological father. You might check out because they are brothers.
Right.
So it might check out, and it's still, you might go on. But the truth really will be a difficult one, because I see your mother lying. Charlie, mothers can lie sometimes. And the thing is that people always say that it's only the mother that can tell you who the father of her child is. Sometimes they just lie. Maybe you go and sleep with this one and say, oh, this one is the father. I see the woman lying clearly. And there's no sort of redress that he can get.
Right.
Because if he goes for DNA, I don't see it checking out any other way, because the two people are brothers. And you overheard, you don't have evidence.
Yeah.
When you go, you are just going to create confusion, and you don't have anything to back it up.
How about he confronts his uncle?
So that could be an option, but he should say it as though he has confirmation. So he's not going to ask. He's telling him that he knows that he's his father. Because if you once you go and you express your confusion, then you've given room for lies. Because right now there's no evidence to show that there has been foul play. So you now go to your uncle. I think I like that part. You go to your uncle and say that, I know you're my father. Why would you do such a thing to me? What happened?
Yeah.
And then leave it there and let him open up to you to say something. But that is if it's not your traditional kind of my type of family.
What does that mean?
My type of family will slap you. Hey. like, okay, a young person doesn't challenge an old person. You know that typical traditional Ghanaian family. I mean, when your mom has spoken or your father has spoken, you are going to ask questions, slap you. So, if it's not a typical Ghanaian setting, then, but I wish you all the best. I really hope you find some sort of answer, because you sound like it will nag at you till you find the truth. So don't go asking questions, make statements.
Okay, don't go asking questions, make statements, Tina says. Olivia, do you agree? And indeed, is this whole angle of just walking up to your uncle and saying, I know you're my father, do you think that's good enough? Would that work, as opposed to creating some confusion and, having the tendency of your mother lying to you to save herself?
I mean, I agree with Tina. I think how you go about it is best. So I mean, like she said, I mean, we live in a very Ghanaian society and a very African society. So if he goes and then he says it in a way that he's not sure, but if he says it in a way whereby, it's factual, so you want to, you're telling him this is what it is and, what's up, maybe he might get a different reaction. But I mean, I agree with Tina.
Okay. All right, cool. Let me bring in Rosina. What do you think?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear most of Tina's submissions. I had a little problem with my network.
Okay.
But I think that, first of all, for me, if it was me, I would do the asking. Or I heard Tina said in the last stages that make it more like a statement, not more like asking questions, so that there'll be no room for lying. The reason being that with brothers, it's very difficult to determine who your father is by DNA, unless, of course, your brothers are not, your father and your uncle are not blood brothers. If they're like maybe just somebody adopted, or maybe your grandmother also did something like your mother possibly did, then maybe you could do the difference there. You can differentiate between your father and your uncle. But other than that, both of them would bear your same genes, so it won't really be a problem. Or you could actually just go and ask your uncle. Or I overheard this, is it true or not? But you see, some of these things, whichever you look at it, you will not get the answers you're looking for. And sometimes when you hear some of these things once a while, the moment it sticks in your head that what you heard is what you heard, you realize that you get into a state where everything that is said, you don't listen. You just want to be told that what you heard is what it is. So maybe the context in which your mother was speaking, maybe the issue they were talking about, or maybe however it sounded, that's how come it sounded like that. I don't know how it works, but this is a situation where DNA may not necessarily give you the answers you want scientifically. It's an issue about he said, I said, that kind of thing. So my take is that, yes, ask them, confront them, but just be mindful how you do it, because it's a very delicate matter. And you wouldn't want to open a can of worms that would probably mess up the whole family relationships for good. But by all means, try and seek to find the answers. And if you don't find the answers, I don't know how old you are, but maybe you could go for some counseling to kind of put your head at rest and put your head in the right place so you don't do anything silly. But by all means, attempt to look for answers. I would look for answers. I wouldn't keep quiet on it.
Right. I'll just add my voice to this one. Think about it this way. I know you really want to know who your dad is, but the minute you start to ask questions, there's a chance that you would break your current parents' relationship up or marriage up. So, assuming that maybe you did not hear right, it was even just something in passing, and you're not it's not the case. Your parents that you currently have are actually your parents, as in your father is your father and not your uncle. Yeah, you could be ruining the marriage. I do get it. I understand that you absolutely want to know, who your biological father is, but you have to approach it with tact. Else at the end of the day, you're going to end up hurting so many people in the quest to find the truth. So weigh all your options. If you don't really care and you just want to know who your dad is, if it's that big a deal, then go for it. I would approach my uncle, though. I wouldn't approach my mom. Neither would I tell my father, because if you tell your father and he gets so angry because he actually, maybe there was something in the past that happened that he already questioned your mother about and she lied about, that's going to be a whole different matter. So I think the safest route for me would be reaching out to your uncle. And like Tina already said, not asking him, telling him that I know you're my father. Tell me what's good. How is this going on? How did this happen? Don't lie to me, and sit him. This is not over the phone. This is not via text. This is face-to-face confrontation where he doesn't have a moment to call, your mother and say, "Hey, akolano, akaneachireno," kind of thing, right? So, we wish you it's a very tough place to be, but we wish you the best of luck. Right back to the show, and let's know how that ended up. I'm really interested in this story. So yeah, we have a couple of comments here, and Becky says, I think you should confront him ASAP. Invite your uncle over, take it from there. After that, tell your dad about the whole issue because you can't be cheated like that. Good luck. Akosia says, engage mom to know the truth and the story behind your conception. Hard as it may be, keep it to yourself. Don't tell daddy or anyone else. It might be a secret mom and uncle would want to die with. Don't be the one to divulge this secret and cause confusion in the family thereof. Things happen in this life, so allow sleeping dogs to lie, okay? God help us all. Osei says, wow, please keep it to yourself. Any questions seeking answers will break a whole family, and it's a taboo for a woman, your mum, to sleep with her biological brother. So if you can, just shut up. Sammy says, your dad, not knowing the secret, is living a peaceful life. Why change it and stress the entire family with the truth? However, you have every right to confront your mother. Daniel says, if I were you, I'll go straight to tell my dad what I heard for him to arrange a paternity test secretly. Based on the results, then he can confront your mother. Justice says, confront your mom first. Let her know you heard the conversation between your uncle and her on the phone, and then proceed from there. Sewa says, confront your mom. Don't say a word to your dad. Don't be in a haste and regret later. Thank you so much for watching Sister Sister on your favorite City TV. Now don't forget, if you want some more exciting content, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We call it the City Tube. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications for fresh updates.
Sister Sister, every Friday at 9 p.m. only on City TV.